Okay, so we have the first piece on our back wall right now. And we'll see how this one's gonna work. It's been notched for our niche. And this one will go in the corner. Pretty, like I said, pretty tricky corner. The goal is to have nice joint that will match to our other joints here in the corner. Laying the tile. Ensuring that we have nice level, because this back wall been framed by us and been nicely built in level, so nice surface to work with. Okay, so looks like this is it. Okay, and another piece. Go over here. It's also been already cut. Matches. Here on the niche we will have this algae trim nicely framing our opening for the shelf for the niche. But it's going to be done later. Okay, another piece. Right, seems to be the way I'm expecting. This is very important to ensure that our surface is flat. Like I said, I have a shorter level that I'm putting here. But this is also important part to have our walls flat going in that direction, and of course flat going in that direction. So this is how it looks like. This is our corner. Nice tiny spaces. It's always recommended for natural stone. So we're moving forward with another line of tiles on our exterior wall in this case. Checking on the corners if everything is even. And we have this piece to go now. As you can see, I'm not using any additional spacers because those clips has a built-in spacer. In this case, it's 1/30th second of an inch that we're using. I would say ideal for such application when working with the natural stone, marble, granite, travertine. If you would like to spread the grout spaces, of course you can additionally put spacers along with those spacers to make them wider. But the system comes in three different sizes, which is good because you can purchase the one for your preference, and this way you don't have to worry about any spacers at all. However, those blue edges are also always helpful. I'm using them pretty much on every project. Sometimes we have to stick this because it happens that travertine tiles are slightly variation in the size. So sometimes in order to adjust them precisely, we have to actually put little wedge here or somewhere to make it even on the other end, right? Because sometimes it happens that natural stone is also cut not too precisely, or it's slightly crooked piece. So those little wedges, the blue stuff, are always handy and recommended to have available when working on your project. But other than this, I'm using the built-in spacer that those clips have. Alright, so this been installed, adjusted, everything nice the way it should be. The level touches here and it continues all the way to this tile. So the wall is not bound. The next step will be piece over here. I'm going to measure cutout to the valve, and when you're measuring cutout to the valve, make sure to not cover the screw holes that will actually hold the plate. Follow the specifications for the valve that you have, how big the hole's supposed to be. Measure it, cut it, and I'm going to put this piece in a moment. So slowly moving forward with our shower, and you see this is actually where our angle is. Here we will have our pencil tile continuing all the way around. Alright, so another piece. one goes over here. Sometimes if we have to return, if something is not right, it's pretty easy to remove this element, because I see here I have inserted faulty spacer. And another piece nicely in a position. This is what we want to achieve. Okay, so looks like another piece came really nicely, and now we have a corner cut, and in such cases I'm always measuring and the bottom part and the top part, because sometimes dimensions changes. At this point I know it will be pretty nice straight cut because this wall is in level, and appears that we will have the cut piece of tile that needs to be cut to 15 3/8 plus. 15 3/8 plus is the size of our cut. So this one will go in a corner, and at this point we will be ready to move forward with another row of tiles, solid pieces, and of course around the edges. So Peter's gonna cut this one, and I'll show you how to put it in. checking if, like I said, all the sections where two tiles meets are nice and smooth. And this is how it should looks like, pretty much. And also here we have level nicely sitting on a finished surface. So at this moment, this row of tiles is done. I'm gonna start continuing with the section over there, because we did this quite some time ago, and the thin set is slowly drying. So right now I have to still sneak those leveling system spacers behind it before this thin set will dry, because later it will be hard. So we're gonna continue with another row of this wall, continue in that direction, and then another one before we will install our accent. So still quite a bit of work to come, but everything is progressing very nicely. Really nice, clean look. Already have first piece here in place. In the meantime, for Pierre working on the cut. Now we have another piece of the puzzle. The goal is always to have our corners clear, so we can check if tiles are nice and even. Some leveling systems will be mounted in the corners, which is a huge mistake, and those systems are not precise systems, because pretty much not allowing you to check the corners. So try to avoid those. Okay. Also, this system, like I said, doesn't require any tool, which speeds up the process really a lot. Removal is pretty easy. I'll show you how to remove it, and installation is also pretty quick. Looking good. So we will have a cut to the corner. Here it will be exactly same size as this one, because this corner will be leveled corner, and here we have a solid piece. So I'm gonna have this installed in a moment. Okay, so we have this side piece already in place, and everything is turning really nice. We finally have opportunity to put our level, because each time we working with the tiles, I'm setting level on top of the finished row of tiles to ensure that everything is the way it should be. And here I want you to check how nicely level lays on top of the tiles, and also what our bubble is showing. So this is the goal that you want to achieve. I couldn't really put level here because of the valve, right? We have a valve issue that it was on the way. And I measured, actually, when installing valves, I have everything figured for the valves to be exactly in the middle of the grout joint, to make it look even. And also built-in niche, the solid piece that will be over there will be also exactly in the middle of the shelf. So shelf been framed accordingly to the size of the tiles and to the desired layout. And valves I also had adjusted pretty much to the tile, to the size of the tile. because I figured the layout way longer before I actually placed the tile board. I was marking this on the studs, pretty much where tiles appears to be, to ensure where to put the valve and how to build the niche, because niche been framed. So there's some small things that I'm always doing and figuring out that regarding tiling way before we are ready for tile, way before we even have a tile board in place. But this is how our installation progresses. I'm very happy with the results, and it's time for us to put the piece that Peter is holding right now. This one will go in the corner. Okay, so got a new bag of my clips. I already used 100 pieces. So 18 by 18 tiles, in this case 100 pieces gone. We have 100 pieces that we've used to tile not even half of this huge shower, because this is huge shower, 10-foot ceilings. But anyway, getting ready for another row of tiles. Pretty much same story as the rest, and we'll see how it will go. My battery is slowly dying, so I'm not sure how much more I'll be able to film it today, but we'll see. So another row of tiles, starting from here at this point. Once again, making sure I've used different size of the clip that made me confused. But yeah, so this is another piece to the puzzle. And like I said, I'm checking the corners. This is where you want to make sure you have even tiles. This is why actually those clips from leveling system goes closer to the corners to help push them nicely to the tile next to it. Push the top part a little bit more. There you go. This is what I wanted to achieve. Alright, so the first piece is in place. Now I'm going to measure this, the cutout for the valve, and here we have another solid piece that I can actually put already. Pushing piece in this corner because drywall is crooked on that side of the tile work, so here we have less setting component required, and now I have to kind of push it, squeeze this tile, especially in this corner, to make it the way it should be done. Okay, and looks like everything goes fine. I'm also putting level next to my tile to ensure that everything goes nicely in level. Okay, everything looks good. So the next piece will be to measure our cutout for the valve, and like I said, depending on the valve, those will have different cutouts. So you will have to check with your valve and see the manual where you should cut the hole. The goal is mainly to not cover any shadow valves that some valves will have, and screw holes for the mount bracket for the trim piece that usually is screwed to the roughened valve. So the next step will be to take care of this one. Right, so it's time for another bag of clips. Those I have to put over here. I'm going to lower this one. See, I can go back and lower it very nicely, so I can actually have room for this wedge that actually will go over here. And let's try put this tile around the valve. Pushing this nicely and ensuring that our joints are as close as they can be to the perfection, and the rest will our system, leveling system, will take care of the rest, and we'll keep this in exact position. Okay, our corner is nice and even. And another piece pretty much same way. Thin set, putting on a wall, and clips, wedges. Okay, so I have another piece, and this one been cut. This one been cut for 15 3/8 plus. And what is important for you to remember, that each time we cutting tiles, especially stone, tile gets wet, and stone has pretty decent porosity. What it means, absorbs water. So before we stick tile to the wall and apply thin set, make sure that your tile is dry, because if it won't be dry, thin set will not bond. It might hold for a while, but eventually it will get loose, it will separate from the tile. So this is very important. Now, working on this cut in a corner, it's always tricky. Limited access to such piece, pretty much. This corner needs always more attention. Looks like we are pretty close. Looking good. Looking really good. Here also level nicely touches, so the next step will be our clips. Very nice. Okay, once we have that part done, I'm moving forward with the fourth row of tiles. So we have the fourth row of solid pieces, and on top of this row we're gonna have an accent. I will show you the accent also, what we're gonna do. But before we do the accent, we're gonna do one more row of tiles. I'm checking fitment of this piece. Okay. zwierzonko. Okay, so we have two pieces in place, and I'm accidentally keep grabbing 1/8 of an inch size spacer that I have in this old bucket that I used in the previous project. We used 1/16 of an inch, so I keep grabbing those instead of 1/30 second. But like I said, there are different sizes for those spacers, which is really convenient. As you can see, I don't use any additional spacers because of that, which makes this installation going pretty smooth. Another piece that I will do will be this one over here. Yeah, looks like a good match. This piece will have to come out. This corner of the drywall is not really working too well, so usually I have a chisel that I use to grab a piece. And you see what happens whenever you can see those stripes. This is where thin set catches pretty well, but here we can see the difference. This corner, the thin set got squashed way more. What it means that there's not enough room for me to push tile anymore. So what I'm doing, I'm completely removing some setting component from this corner that was squashed, and I'm gonna add a little bit extra in a corner that was kinda too deep. And right now we should have pretty good coverage. Seems to be way better. Okay. On this wall we're gonna have a shower door mounted, so it's important to be pretty good as we can. Looks good. Okay. Very, very nice. I'm gonna put this wedge over here because it looks like the tile is not squared. Everything goes pretty good, but sometimes those travertine tiles will be one side or the entire piece can be out of square, like a kicked square pretty much, depending on the quality that you will get, and sometimes there are some bad pieces, of course, in a crate as well. Checking, we have really nice level on the top. So this wall almost done. The next part will be to cut this piece to the corner, which should be exactly same size like the previous one, and this is what I'm going to do. Measure it 10 1/8. Alright, so we have a pretty tricky piece now. This is the piece that goes to the corner and has a notch for the shaft. Okay. This piece will go over here. And I have this piece of all the drywall piece attached here, so actually one side will be supported by these pieces, and here the right corner will be supported by this piece. This is very important because otherwise we won't be able to install it. Blue edges are excellent for such precise adjustments. They hard plastic, really sharp. Must have for pretty much any tile installation. A precise adjustment. Now I'm checking if those pieces are the way I'm expecting, and they appear to be perfect. You see, level is touching evenly to the surface of the tile before, and also this piece of tile. And also our bubble is the way it's supposed to be. So this piece already here. Pieces, leveling system will nicely hold it in place here. Now I have another piece that I still have to cut. So this one will be cut on that side. Okay, so another piece for our wrench here, and let's see how this one will go. I already checked that, looks pretty good. I always have a bucket with water handy. Play now. Okay. Let's see. Here looks pretty good. The cut looks pretty good. It should nicely fit. Alright, so our tiles around the niche been finished. We have one more row before we do the tiling. I guess you already seen enough. Nothing really changes during another installation. So I will probably get back to you once I will get to the point where we will start working with an accent. I'm going to show you the type of accent that I have and what I'm using to attach it correctly.